have a great relationship with President Xi. We're doing a lot of business, but it's smart business. I respect him a lot, and hopefully he respects me. No, we'll be talking about, he'll bring up Taiwan, I think, more than I will.
Not just Iran. Trump may try to appease Xi Jinping on Taiwan as well, raising concern he may soften Washington's Taiwan stance to placate China. When asked about selling weapons to Taipei, Trump said he is going to have that discussion with President Xi. Is the US president effectively seeking Xi's permission before moving ahead on Taiwan arms? With talk of a potential $1 trillion Chinese investment deal, will US backing for Taiwan be quietly traded away for massive Chinese money? As President Trump prepares to visit China to meet Xi Jinping, Taiwan is expected to be one of the key issues on the agenda. Trump has said he will discuss US arms sales to Taiwan with Xi, putting American military support for the island directly on the table. Some reports suggest the meeting could pave the way for up to $1 trillion in new Chinese investment in the United States. If such a deal materializes, Xi may be forced to put any potential plans to attack Taiwan on hold to avoid jeopardizing that economic engagement. An attack across the Taiwan Strait could threaten China's long-term economic stability by triggering sanctions, trade disruption, and financial outflows. Analysts say the economic implications of a Taiwan operation are likely to deter Xi more than the purely military costs. China's economy remains heavily dependent on exports to the United States, South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. All four of these economies would likely support Taiwan in a conflict and could suspend many Chinese imports in response. Taiwan currently produces over 60% of the world's semiconductors and about 90% of the most advanced chips. A Chinese invasion would severely damage or disrupt that capacity, crippling China's own tech sector, which imports around 60% of its chips from Taiwan. In addition, roughly 40% of China's oil supplies transit sea choke points that the US Navy and its allies can influence or disrupt in a crisis. At the same time, the PLA has seen unusual turnover at senior levels due to corruption scandals, raising questions about readiness and cohesion. Taken together, these economic vulnerabilities, supply chain risks, energy choke points, and internal military issues may be the real deterrent against any Chinese misadventure against Taiwan.
I have a great relationship with President Xi. We're doing a lot of business, but it's smart business. We used to be taken advantage of for years with our previous presidents, and now we're doing great with China. We make a lot of money with China. I have a great relationship with President Xi, and I think you can see that with the fact that in Hormuz, they get a big percentage, 40% of their oil from Hormuz. There's been no ships coming in, no nasty ships coming in that we end up in skirmishes with. He'd like to see it get done. He doesn't want to see, I'll tell you what, look, I respect him a lot, and hopefully he respects me. And I bring up Jimmy Lai. Now, Jimmy Lai, caused a lot of bedlam. I don't know. It's like saying to me, if Comey ever went to jail, would you let him out? It might be a hard one for me. Does that make sense? It might be a hard one, because he's a dirty cop. But Jimmy Lai isn't that way. But Jimmy Lai, he caused lots of turmoil for China. He tried to do the right thing. He wasn't successful, went to jail, and people would like him out, and I'd like to see him get out too. So I'll bring him up again. I have brought him up. There's another gentleman, a pastor, as you know, with a beautiful daughter and son-in-law that would like to see him get out. I'm going to bring his name up.
Mr. President, what about Taiwan?
Taiwan, I equated a little bit to that. If you have the right president, I don't think it'll happen. I think we'll be fine. I have a very good relationship with President Xi. He knows I don't want that to happen. Very far away, very, very far away. We're just at 9,500 miles. We're 9,500 miles. He's 67 miles. It's a little bit of a difference, but there's a lot of support for Taiwan from Japan and from countries from that area.
Do you think we should still be selling them weapons? The United States.
Well, I'm going to have that discussion with President Xi. President Xi would like us not to, and I'll have that discussion. That's one of the many things I'll be talking about. We'll have he and I have gotten along well. Other than with COVID, I was not. I was just not accepting of what happened with COVID. But other than that, he's a great gentleman. I find him to be an amazing man. And when I say that, the press always says, "Oh, that's terrible that he called it." He runs 1.4 billion people with a pretty iron fist. He loves his country, I can tell you that, President Xi. I look forward to being there. And if he felt anything, we wouldn't be doing it. But a lot of good things can happen. Now, we'll be talking about, he'll bring up Taiwan, I think more than I will. But I think that a discussion will be a little bit about energy and about the very beautiful country of Iran.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.